I'm going to be crawling out the back door if something goes down, just so you know. And probably pissing myself. Hey everybody, and welcome to Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is, are you a sheepdog? Do you feel that when you're out and you're armed and you're able to protect yourself, do you feel you have an obligation, be it a civil obligation or a moral obligation or a religious obligation, to help others that are not as capable of defending themselves? Some people do. Some people feel that they are a sheepdog and that they should be looking out for the sheep. Do you feel that way? Do you feel you don't have an obligation, but you'd still help if you weren't too much at risk? Are you someone that says, I just look out for number one? Or are you someone who said, I would help, but, civil liability is too much if I get involved and something goes wrong? I mean, there's a lot of things to think about. But in the end, I just want to know, do you feel like you have an obligation to protect other people? Would you, whether you have an obligation or not, or do you think it's too risky? Do you just look out for number one? Now, me personally, I'm more of a will just look out for number one person. I am definitely not a sheepdog. I think my major responsibility is to myself and my family. And if I risk my life, well, that risks my family's future. And I'm not going to risk my family's future over somebody I don't know who had every ability to be protected themselves and be more capable of defending themselves. Their lack of planning doesn't mean I have to risk my life. So I don't think I have any obligation whatsoever to help anyone. Now, would I? Well, yes, in some circumstances I would. There's been circumstances in my life where I throw away my don't get involved thing and I help because I think I can. And I don't think I'm at serious risk. Now, in a situation like it's a mass shooter or something, I'm probably not going to just start firing. I'm going to try to find cover and then fire. And if that's not being effective, I'm going to get out of there. But it would be more likely that I'll get involved if it's someone elderly they're going after, or more so if children are involved, because children can't be prepared. They can't handle that situation. They didn't neglect their responsibilities. So if it's a kid, I'm going to have a hard time not getting involved and taking a lot more risk and not worry about the liability. But normally, yeah, if you didn't prepare and you're not able to defend yourself, I'm going to defend myself, my family. I'll defend you if I can with minimal risk to myself. But if not, my ass is going to be in the parking lot as fast as possible and reunite with my family. First thing I'm going to do is get my family out. Then I'll see if I can be of aid without being too much at risk. And then I'm getting out of there. Because if you're sticking around, like say a mass shooter comes in, you shoot them, and then you still got your gun in your hand, police rush in, you're probably going to die too. Or one of them sheepdogs sees you shooting, doesn't know what really is going on. Maybe he's up on the upper level at a mall, and you're taking out a shooter, and he sees you, boom, he blows you away. So there's a lot of risks involved. And like I said, if you're a grown adult, you didn't take the precautions to protect yourself, well, I don't feel obligated to do so. But that's my opinion. Let's go over and see what other people got to say over here. And by the way, we got that on the first take, just so everybody knows, and everybody in here will shut up. Heavy J said, nope. Go take a CCW class and become prepared. That's kind of what I said. If you're a grown adult, you've got every right to be prepared yourself. And if you choose not to, because like you think you don't need to, well, that's not on me. Your unrealistic expectations of life don't affect my requirements to help you. So, yeah, I agree. Mikey D said, no good deed goes unpunished. That's kind of like is there too much liability involved? I've seen cases where people tried to help and they end up on the hook because damage was caused, etc. So it can be bad. Also, like I said, you can get shot yourself while you're trying to help by another do-gooder. Williamson County Sheriff, who we haven't seen in a long time, says, I think someone has a moral responsibility to prevent an innocent person from being killed, but I don't think they should have a legal responsibility. See, you're more generous than me. I don't even think you have moral responsibility. not to another grown adult. I don't have to protect you. Protect yourself, bitch. Not you. I'm talking to the people that are not prepared. Well, maybe you too. I don't know. I bet you're prepared, though. John and Mandrick said, I don't have any sheep, so no, I mind my own business unless it's the right thing to do. Well, it can often be the right thing to do, but the right thing to do and the stupid thing to do are often the same thing. Because often the right thing to do is not the smart thing to do. I like to say I'm always going to try to do the smart thing, more so than the right thing. But sometimes I don't live up to that, but I try. Sometimes my good nature gets the better of my better judgment, and I get involved in situations I shouldn't. Like on New Year's Eve when I got my gun taken away because I wasn't going to stand there and watch some guy punch one of my family members in the face. I was like, God damn it. I got to step in. Edgar Cortez says, depends on the situation. I carry 2.25 M of insurance, 2.25 million of insurance through USCCA. Besides, I'm 78. What the hell do I have to do to be afraid of? That's true. At your age, something's going to kill you. You might as well die taking a bullet for an innocent person who has more than a couple of months to live. Or someone that's still valuable to society. I mean, you kind of have an obligation to throw yourself in front of the bullet if that bullet's headed at someone that still has value in society. 78, you don't got none. Hell, I don't hardly have any now my age. I ain't gonna make no babies. I'm not working no more. Not producing no products really. So, well, other than shirts, if you want a shirt or something like my in this country, we used to shoot Nazi shirt. But otherwise, yeah, I got very little use to society. Society is done with me. I should have been put on an ice floe already. John and Mandrick says, people get hurt. Yes. Store robbery. Hell no. Yeah, so many people would want to get involved in a store robbery. But here's the reality. Most robberies don't end up in an injury unless someone intervenes. Someone intervening makes it like, I forget. I used to have a friend who was an actuarian for an insurance company. And he's like, one of the main reasons we tell people don't fight back in robberies because 98.95% of the time, no one gets harmed. However, if someone resists, that jumps to about, 85% of the time someone gets harmed. So it goes from like 1% of the time to 50 or something. So just a really huge jump. So that's why you don't get involved in robberies usually. Mr. Furley says, playing Captain Save-A-Ho is usually a fool's errand. Captain Save-A-Ho? I've never played Captain Save-A-Ho. I've played Captain Hire-A-Ho before, tried. But that was Mr. Furley. Heavy J says, I think some sheepdogs have a hero complex. Well, I think a lot of them do. I think a lot of people have hero complexes because I think a lot of people don't recognize their own value or their own worth in this society, and the people around them don't make them feel valuable or worth anything. So they have these scenarios in their head where if I do this, I'll be valuable. People will recognize my value. And I think that's kind of sad because I think most people should be able to more recognize their own personal worth and value. But unfortunately, people around them who have the same issues want to tear other people down so that they don't feel like they're better than you. I'm from one of them families, one of those families like where you say, I've got this idea, I'm going to form a business. They don't be like, good for you, you're going to be great, you're going to make a fortune. They're like, well, you're going to fail. Well, you think you better than me? If it was that easy, I'd have done it. That kind of thing. I come from a long line of those people. Pigar says, I have a moral obligation, tell everyone to carry so I don't have to protect you. Well, see, here's one aspect of it. I've made my life about trying to convince people to protect themselves. So I guess I'm doing that. That's my part. I've done my part. Now leave me alone. I'm going to be crawling out the back door if something goes down, just so you know. And probably pissing myself. Officer Tater Hater weighed in and said the people who bear the badge are supposed to be the sheepdogs, but instead they are domestic terrorists. I'm going to have to say more often than not nowadays. Yes, they don't risk themselves. They take their policies, no risk, even if that means they kill an innocent person. That they're fine with that as long as they didn't take a risk. So yeah, I have a big problem with that these days. Leonidas 1236 says, that's not how you count 1236. He missed a couple there. I'm not religious, but I believe we all have moral obligations in such a case. It's good to imagine other people would do the same and be better humans. Oh, they can be better than me if they want. I'm not getting shot for them. If it makes them feel better, to feel good about it, makes them feel good about themselves, to think they're better than me, more power to them. John Heasley weighed in and said, I'm the sheepdog of my daughter's grandkids and wife. Well, that's family. Of course you protect family. I mean, we'll die for family usually. Well, not all family. I mean, like I got a lot of cousins. It's like I'm going to kick them in front of the bad guy and run. Because I got some dead weight in my family. Let's just say that. And all they keep doing is having babies and creating more dead weight. Like a lot of the dead weight in my family now are the offspring of the ones that were dead weight when I was younger. Sean Bain said nope. Well, that was pretty clear cut. Nope. No gray area for him, just nope. Go Shadow. We get to see the bloopers live. Shh, we got that the first take. What are you talking about? He's impugning my character and my craft and saying that I'm not good at what I do. That's slander. Or would that be what do you call it? Not slander. Defamation. Pigar. Take 4. I said, shut up. God damn. What's wrong with you people? Johnny Mandri says there is a big difference between helping and it's my job to protect people whether they ask or not. Well, I don't know if most people will ask for help because in that situation they probably don't have time. But I think a lot of people count on it. I've had friends tell me before, well, if we go out, I'm safe because I'm with you. I'm like, well, wouldn't you be safer if you took your own precautions to be safe? Because if things go down, I might just use you as a human shield. Get the fuck out of here. You and your big head. That's a very specific friend. Sparks 68's our last person weighing in here today and says, was told by former neighbor she would sue me for not protecting her if she were robbed. I owed her protection as a gun owner. We should have punched her in the face. So how am I supposed to protect you against me? You can't. That's a dichotomy. Now we're all conflicted, both of us. But yeah, that's a stupid statement. I'm not obligated to protect you. No, I would. I do my best to protect my neighbors and keep them out of harm. I think the fact that we're vigilant and we pay attention up here, and I've got cameras everywhere, and I think that goes to protect not just me, but everyone else that lives on this road. And I take that seriously. But if one of them's out, if we're out at the mall and I see one of them and there's a guy bearing down on him with an AR-15, and if I intervene, I'm going to get shot too. Good luck to you. Glad he saw you first and not me. But that's it for today. That's our last person weighing in. A lot of interesting answers over here. I want to know what you all think out there in YouTube land. Let me know in the comments section. Do you consider yourself a sheepdog? Do you think you have a moral obligation? Or are you out for number one because there's too much liability or whatever for getting involved? Let me know. I look forward to reading your answers. And if you want to weigh in on one of these topics live and in person, come to one of the live chats. We do them every day at 6 p.m. So come on in, weigh in on the topic of the day, and then stick around. After we do this, we always do another chat, and it is the open chat, the America Guns and Freedom podcast, which we do right after I quit doing this one. You don't have to go to another chat or anything. We stay in the same window. I just edit them later. So stick around for that. We can talk about whatever you want. So thanks to everybody who participated. Hope to see everybody again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.